Okay, we're back working on our thumb. We have hydraulic hoses we ordered. They go from the thumb down to the auxiliary hydraulics. And I also got the O-rings that go on the pin. So we'll be putting those on today. But one thing you should do when you install these is check the hydraulics of your auxiliary. These here that power your thumb, they have to be below the main pressure of your machine. And I think this machine is around 3,000 or so according to the book. And that thumb's got to be about 1,800. And what that does is it keeps the bucket and the thumb from destroying each other. The thumb essentially yields to the higher pressure of the bucket. So we checked the pressure of the auxiliaries on this side, and they're about 3,000 psi. So my son adjusted that down to about 1,850, which is exactly what Soulsby recommends for this thumb. So I'll show you how we did that underneath the floor of the cab. It's kind of congested in there, but I can at least show you it's on the spool valve that goes to the hydraulics. I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, underneath the floor of the cab here, there's a row of spool valves. There's got to be 15 or 18 of them. The auxiliary is number 4. This one right here. This is where the power goes out. And down in there, at the end of that screwdriver, I hope you can see it, at the end of that screwdriver, right there, is an adjustment valve. There's a small screw on it, right there, at the end of that screwdriver, and you just back that out, and it reduces the pressure on that side. This is one, and then the other one is right there on the other end of it. So you have to play with those until you get about 1,800 psi on both hydraulic lines going to that stick. And then there's a set screw in the end that just adjusts in there, tightens that back up and holds pressure. But we're looking for 1,850 on both lines. Alright, we're starting up the machine, and we're going to check the hydraulics on this side. Second, something's wrong. Oh, we made a mistake here, didn't open the valve. That gave us 0, so we're going to try her again. Try it one more time. Okay, now we're going to give it another shot. Okay. We're about 1,500. We were at 1,500, so we got to go back out just a touch. And that should give us around the 1850 we're looking for. We're making that adjustment right now. Okay, we're going to give it another shot. See what we get. That's really close to being perfect. That's about 1,800-ish, somewhere in there. Okay, we got the pin out. The hydraulics are all set, but we have a few issues with our pin. This is the pin that came with it, and it's got a grease fitting in each side, in each end. And what the grease fitting does is it greases at, there's a couple of different joints. This is at kind of the H clip that goes around the stick. And this is supposed to grease the stick portion. But the problem is we have a seal that's real close to this last grease hole. So what I want to do is drill a little further down this shaft down into here near the center, or closer to the center, so to grease that stick better, because that's really the only way to grease that stick. There isn't a fitting anywhere else on it. So there is a hole. We checked that hole, and it's this size right here. We ordered a drill bit, and we're going to come in, put this in the lathe, drill down to about halfway across this thing, or somewhere about there, and that will give us, and then we'll rebore a hole back down through here and connect to that other hole, and that'll give us a grease fitting somewhere near the middle of that stick, and it's going to provide a lot better lubrication. I'm also going to take, when it's in the lathe, either put a really big chamfer on that edge right there, or turn down the first 1/4 inch, maybe 50 thousandths or so. And what we found is when you're beating this in with a hammer, it'll mushroom these ends. It makes that pin really hard to get in and out again. So if we take a little bit off there, or even like a big chamfer on that, and that will make that pin, next time we beat it in, even if it rounds it over a little bit, it won't go into the hole diameter. It'll just round over that chamfer a little bit. And it makes it a lot easier to get in and out. So that's the next project. We'll do that in our lathe. Right over here. We'll show a little bit of that. And this is that chamfer that we talked about. I'm going to put that on there. Okay, now we'll bore that hole deeper. Okay, now we're going to drill this hole. This is a real deep blind hole, so I put a mark on the drill bit there. We'll probably have to take this in and out a couple times to clean out the drill bit, because there's little chance it's going to evacuate all those chips being that far down in there. But we'll go slow and try not to break our bit. Sounds awful crunchy. Hopefully that's not our bit. Hopefully that's our pin. We'll take that out. We'll check that. And we're continuing on with our hole. The crunching we heard wasn't our bit, so that must have been remnants of the past hole that was put in there when it was manufactured. So we are cutting, but extremely slow. Probably a pretty high strength material they use for that pen, so we'll just take it easy. We have some stuff right over here that we use, drill chill. That's really good stuff for this kind of thing. Alright, we got that hole drilled. Drilled it about another 2 inches, so it's in the center of that shaft. I'll take that out, flip it around, and I'll put that chamfer on the other side like we did there. And then we'll clean it, clean all the shavings out in the parts washer, grease it up, put the grease fittings back in, and put it in the machine. Alright, here's our first test. It seems to work pretty good. We might turn the power up just a little bit as the bucket pushes the thumb pretty easy, which I don't know if that's what we want. We'll try it for a while, and we'll see how it works from there. But a thumb just makes property clearing just so much easier, so much handier. And the fact that it can peel up out of the way and you can dig afterwards is very handy. But he's playing in the snow here. It's a little frosty here in New York. Things are frozen, so not the time to clear property, but it does seem to work pretty good. Makes that machine much more versatile for probably a couple of grand. You get a lot more use out of the machine. The thumb was around 1800 new, so yeah, it works pretty good. So that's the end of part 2. Successful thumb installation. All right, perfect.